Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. It's the Pied Piper this time, and joining me today is going to be.
What's up? I'm Mira. I will be playing Sammy Jax.
And I will be playing. Well, we'll figure it out really soon. So, our story begins at Sammy's place. Now, Sammy, what are you doing at home?
Sammy is probably getting ready to go out into Toontown. He's probably just kind of collecting all of his things, putting some knickknacks into his hammer space, and is getting ready to go out to one of the abandoned Prismatone shrines that he is tasked himself with keeping up and making sure they look good.
Sounds so cute. Very good. Well, Sam, here in the midst of getting ready when you hear a faint rapping at the door.
Sammy's shading goes gray because he wasn't expecting any visitors or anything like that, so he kind of just approaches the door very curiously because if it yeah, like maybe it's Chifley, maybe it's Gil. He doesn't really know, but he opens the door.
And as he does, he will notice that there's no one there until he looks down. And right on the, is there like a mat or maybe the doorstep?
Yeah, there's a little welcome mat, I picture.
Oh, a welcome mat. All right, well, right on the welcome mat, there is a small potted plant.
Sammy's gonna tilt his head a little and just be like, "Oh, someone gave me a plant." And then, as soon as he registers, "Oh wait, this is a plant," his shading goes from gray to yellow. 'Cause he loves plants. he gardens for fun, and so he's gonna bend down and pick up the potted plant and look it over.
So, would you like to roll something for me?
Okay.
You can roll perception or investigation.
Okay, let me look at his stats and see which one is the better. That would be. That is perception. Okay, I'm gonna roll perception because that's a +4. Okay, that is +4. That is a 19.
Nice. So, as you are looking the plant over, it looks healthy. It hadn't really been watered recently, though, but as you are checking the soil, there's a little note card that seems kind of buried in the soil there. Like in the side, like where you stick like a label or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's a little card peeking out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Sammy's gonna unbury the plant, the little note card and look it over. Does the 19 kind of still carry over with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So you might have to you dust it off a little bit, but when you take a look on one side, the side that you're looking at, obviously, it just has the name Bevin.
Sammy's shading immediately softens just because oh, it's from Bevin, and Sammy loves Bevin, and his shading immediately goes from yellow to this gold airbrushed with rose as he looks at the plant, looks at the note, and just is like, oh, he's really touched. And Does he know what type of plant? Does he recognize what kind of plant it is at all?
Sorry, my mic's being weird. There you go. Um, I've Yeah, I would think so. It seems to be like a lily turf kind of plant.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of is like all of its fronds are kind of like thin and pointed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should put a picture or something, but
I mean, you can if you want.
I'd have to just look one up.
It's fine then. I looked it up. It's a really pretty plant. So
But,
yeah, Sammy is really quickly just gonna dig into his hammer space, and that was 9. So he pulls out like a little watering can that kind of just it audibly sloshes a little bit, and then like he just kind of waters it a little, and he's going to put the plant in his windowsill for now.
um,
unless you need me to do something else with it.
oh no, I was trying to figure out your frame of thought. So you got to put it on the windowsill.
Yeah, just like
right.
Yeah, just so it gets some more light and stuff. Make sure the plant is healthy and everything. Because like he watered it and then like just put it there because the soil's a little bit dry. He's gonna water it a little before he heads out. He's gonna take care of this plant, damn it.
Alright, so as you set it down onto the windowsill, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh dear, okay. Let me just really quickly move back to his sheet. What is your whiz save again, my son? Okay. Okay. No, that's not the right button. 18.
Oh. So when you had set it down, you got the feeling that maybe you should bring this plant with you, but maybe it is safer here. But as you contemplate that, you notice that there's something written on the back of the note.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back of the note card has a particular address that seems to be somewhere in Toontown.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't your address, though.
Right. Sammy's gonna roll survival to see if he recognizes where exactly the address is saying he should go. So that is a +4 to that. So that is 17.
Yeah, you seem to at least you know where this place probably is. It doesn't have a name to the place, but at least not on the card. But you know that you recognize the street name and the number probably coincides. So
yeah, Sammy's gonna tuck the note into his sleeve and into his hammer space, and he's gonna just look at the plant one more time, and I'm just gonna roll a d2, and he's going to actually grab the plant and take it with him.
cool. The plant is not very heavy. It is in one of those like ceramic-ish kind of pots, but you can't imagine it weighs more than 10 pounds.
Yeah. Sammy's just got it kind of tucked into one arm.
All right, so looks like you and this plant are heading out.
Yep, we are heading out. heading out to where Sammy kind of thinks the address is. We're gonna take a stroll through Toontown. He does this often, just wandering. Maybe he'll find a Prismatone shrine along the way. He doesn't really have concrete plans.
Well, then, as you make your way down the street, the sky is clear. There's not too much wind. It seems, all in all, a pretty nice day.
Mm-hmm.
You just turn down one or two different streets, and this street in particular has a few shops lining it, as is common. And you're trying to find the one with the address, but it's kind of tough.
Mm-hmm.
You keep walking forward, and then you realize, oh wait, nah, the number is previous, and then you keep walking back.
Like
And this kind of happens.
I kind of picture that he has pulled out. He got a 7 on my D10. He pulls out the little card with the address again, and he's just kind of looking up at the numbers and looking back at the card, and making necessary adjustments. And just his shading is extremely gray.
But then you finally realize why you've been missing the building a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a very large place, but it is littered with balloons in the storefront. And in fact, the sign is kind of obscured, like the top part of the sign.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be open, at least from what you can tell, the lighting. And it even has an open sign, too. So
Okay.
You can tell the shop's open for business.
Okay, Sammy is once again going to stow the note, and he's gonna go inside.
All right. So you enter, and as the door opens, they hear the little ting-a-ling of the bell on the top. You step in, and it's rather cool in here. But it's also kind of small. There's one little island for display stuff and shelves all along the walls. But this place, sorts of novelty stuff. There are little knickknacks, gimmicks. There's a lot of circus paraphernalia, all sorts of stuff that tunes would probably be into, especially for slapstick stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to the far right, there's a desk and a register where you're supposed to buy the stuff. And behind that, there is another shelf, and beside it, a door. It's probably some kind of, maybe a back door. You don't know if it exits or anything, but so far, though, there is nobody else in the store.
Okay. Sammy is gonna just roll perception. Oh boy. That was... He got a 9.
And as far as you can tell, this is pretty weird shop. I mean, I guess not for tunes, but everything is tune based. You don't really see a lot of real kind items, if there were.
Mm-hmm.
And you see. I'm trying to figure out me visualizing it in my brain. Where? Okay. But then you hear kind of something from the back room.
Mm-hmm.
And the door swings open. And another tune closes it behind him. He turns around and spots you. Hi.
Uh,
Welcome to the shop.
uh,
And he walks over to the desk, makes himself comfortable.
uh, Sammy just kind of like, hi. He's gonna roll hammer space again. Okay, he got a 2. He pulls out the note that he got from the plant, and he just kind of looks at it, looks at the shop address, and then he's just like, shading's a little gray, and he just kind of looks at this tune, and he's just like, sorry, have you seen a little kid tune? His name's Bevin. I got a little present from him, and it had this address on it. Have you seen him
And
at all?
he he's kind of eyeing you up and down for a second. A gift? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we kind of sell that stuff here.
Well, I mean, he like just kind of holds up the potted plant. he
One of those.
uh,
And he's he takes a quick look, and then he points in one of the map where you could see a couple other potted plants. Not exactly similar, but they're still potted plants.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we have those. You said you got it as a gift?
Yeah, Bev left it on my doorstep. I'm a little confused. It's a really pretty plant, but why do you have potted plants if this is more of a circus themed paraphernalia place?
Well, I mean, it's not just circus stuff. And he kind of stands up from the table. Anyway, why don't you? And he walks over to you and holds out a hand. Why don't we start with introductions first?
Oh, right. Sorry. He kind of just shuffles his puts the little note into the potted plant, puts the potted plant in his other shoulder, and uses his right hand to shake the shopkeepers.
Hiya, and what's your name, kid?
I'm Sammy. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can call me Mr. Mitchell, but most people call me by my stage name. And he does a cute little twirl before he's like, I'm Laffy, Laffy the Clown. And he hunks his little nose, his red nose that he has.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Laffy. Yeah, does, so, did you see Bev at all? I, haven't seen him in a little bit. It's been kind of busy, though, so, yeah, just would have expected him to maybe stick around and give me the gift himself? Themself?
So the kid just left it on
Yeah.
your doorstep?
Yeah. Maybe like just maybe they were busy. I don't know.
Well, usually it's more common to put it on a windowsill. You know, so it could fall on someone's head. And he just gives a quick chuckle. I mean, that's what they're for. You know?
Oh.
This is all practical gags. And he spreads his arms out, gesturing to the store. You know, I sell all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, I could use this on Gil, I guess.
And
and like Sammy's just kind of like quietly like muttering to himself because he's just like, I haven't actually expanded into practical gags before. This is gonna be an interesting addition to any chases.
Oh boy, you haven't dealt with practical gags in a while. I mean, it might not be for everyone, but
talk maybe about ever. I didn't really have that much money to expand into doing gags for a bit.
Yeah, I get that one. And he takes another look around. Yeah, I still have a lot of stuff. He makes his way look around. I don't feel any pressure. You know, that's not my kind of thing. He sits back, and there was a chair, and he lounges just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Um, can I roll history to see if Sammy recognizes this dude at all? Because I do know that Bevin had shown Sammy a picture of their troop before.
Uh, sure.
Okay. Oh, well, that was a nat one.
You
The
um,
the tune's a clown?
if you want the dude's a clown. What do you? Well, you have two ideas that arise from trying to figure out who this guy is. He either you haven't been keeping up a lot with clown stuff, or maybe it wasn't that good of a clown. You're not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you don't quite recognize anything about him.
Okay.
But you know, kid, you almost gave me a scare. Thought you were going to ask for a return. And he points back to the plant.
Oh, no, it was a gift. So I honestly don't really know why I brought it. Yeah, just there was just a little note card that had this address, so I was just curious about if it meant something or anything like that.
You, and he puts his hand out. Yeah, you want me to take a look?
Sure. And Sammy's gonna hand him the card, just kind of shake off the dirt again and hand him it.
So he holds it up. So he goes to read it, and then he's like, great, I forgot. He reaches into, he's actually wearing a coat.
Mm-hmm.
He reaches into one of the pockets. It's part of his hammer space. Good. So he takes out a pair of reading glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I forget these. He kind of props them on, and it looks a little comical the way that he has these scholarly looking glasses, but he has full clown makeup.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking a look. Well, I can tell you I didn't write it. That's about it. And it looks real neat. I don't know if a kid could write this. And he hands it back to you.
And you didn't see like a little kid tune buying this, right?
What, like today?
Well, or recently. I'm not entirely sure when they would have bought it. It's just
I don't know. And he kind of leans back. I mean, I tend to get all sorts of people here. But, a kid, how tall?
Sammy gestures to how small Bevin is upon reaching Sammy's height. And he's just like, yeah, they're usually wearing a tutu. Real cute kid. They're really precious.
And at this point, he kind of stops and he kind of sits up a bit. And said the kid's name was
Bevin. It's short for Bevin.
And his eyes kind of narrow a little bit.
Sammy's gonna roll insight
Go
on
ahead.
that. see, that was do. Okay, so do plus 1, 18.
Cool. Well, hold up. So, just a second. Because he is also. You can't help it, just a little. At first, you think he's a little funny because, I mean, he's a clown, but also, maybe it's just like, oh, it's kind of curious, but he seems to have some sort of, looks a little annoyed, I guess, a little skeptical, and, you had, and you know the kid?
Yeah, they've they've been a really big help. They joined me for trying to catch my nemesis a little while back. Good kid.
Oh, and he sits back again a little bit. Oh, so what you're a cop or something?
No, I just kind of fell into the nemesis role.
One of those. And he nods knowingly, like, yeah, nemesis, you know.
Sammy's shading is a little pink.
Don't worry. I know about these sort of things. You know, I'm getting a little old. And you can kind of tell, at least from his receding hairline, yeah, he is kind of old. Not super old, but you can, even with the makeup, you can kind of tell he's kind of, so he at least has some kind of experience. You don't know what, but something.
Do you know Bev?
And he hesitates for just a moment, as if he's trying to think of something.
Because if you know him, they're looking for their troop. If you could tell me any information on where they might have gone or anything like that. They got separated a little while back, and I promised I'd help them look for them.
Oh, and he had been looking pensive before, but now he's like, oh, yeah, oh, you mean Bevin, right. I don't know, I thought you were talking about a different Bevin. And you don't know how many Bevins there are in Inkwell. And he's twiddling his thumbs, he's like, yeah, this is fun.
Sammy's gonna roll another insight on that, because that is, heck. Sammy, buddy. That was 6 plus 1, so that was a 7. He got a 7 on his insight on that. He just kind of nods and it's like, yeah.
So far you can only tell maybe that he's just joking. He, might be. You can't quite tell. Your concern has kind of overweighed your insight here.
Like he's just kind of like, yeah, maybe there are a ton of Bevins, but yeah, just, well, you seem to be troops and circuses must be buying practical objects. I've honestly never really been to the circus or any performing acts, really. But do you know?
All sorts of people use them.
Well, yeah, but like I just he rubs the back of his head and is just like, have you seen any performing troops pass through here at all? I really would like to try and help Bevin out. He helped me out.
Well,
yeah.
Well, kid, I've seen plenty of troops. He stands back up and makes his way around the desk and walks past you into kind of the middle of the store. I service all sorts of people. I mean, not just tunes in general. I mean, I used to be quite the performer myself, and he gives a little wink like, yeah, I did that. But in terms of troop, you said what kind of troop?
Mainly musical, I think. I know it was like a pretty wild, like I'm not entirely sure. They just showed me a picture of them.
And at that, he kind of gives a little frown. Oh, a picture. Yeah, well, I guess that would make sense. And he goes over to the door, as you were explaining. He flips the sign to closed and then locks it.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, Wick. Bad vibes.
Don't worry.
Bad vibes.
Yes. I know. But does Sammy look worried or?
Well, let me just roll straight intelligence to see if he's smart enough to clue in that, hey, this might be sus. This might be sus, and that is, he got a 16.
Oh. Well,
is this bad? Like, just give me a general read of, like, what that kind of brain flash would give Sammy.
Well, just a moment. Yeah. He turns back around from what he was doing, and says, well, I mean, if you want some information, it might take a little while, so it's been kind of slow lately. I think we could get a little time and see what we can scrounge up. And you can tell that he's acting genial, but he seems there's something foreboding about it. Like, I don't know. And he's making his way back over, and he goes right back behind the desk.
Sammy just kind of looks at the door and then back at Laffy, and it's just like his shading is like a slight lilac with almost like there's a slight red tint to it as well. And he kind of just looks at the door and then back at Laffy, and it's just like, why did you lock the door? But even if it's slow,
that. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, you don't know what kind of people are out there, and he gestures to the outside. When it comes to very sensitive information, you don't want other people hearing your business, right? And besides, what if somebody just comes in and tries to take some of my stuff? And then he gives off another little laugh, like as if.
Okay, he rolled 13 for insight, and I am assuming that was a deception roll. So Sammy just kind of believes you. He believes Laffy, and he just kind of was like, yeah, that I guess that makes sense. Yeah, do you have any information for me at all? Um, you
We're
said
gonna go ahead.
you just you said that it could take a while. I don't really understand what that means. And his shading has gone back from kind of like that lilac tinted red to like gray as he stares at this clown.
Uh, well, conversations like these might take a bit of time. So, he pulls over a stool, a wooden stool from the corner of the room,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of puts it down right next to the desk. Well, why don't you take a seat? And in fact, why don't I make some coffee? And he gestures to the back room. Um, the back room, and his smile widens. And he's like, "Yeah, you're not too young for coffee, are you? I'd offer you some whiskey, but I don't think that'd be kosher."
Sammy kind of just makes a face because, alcohol. He doesn't really touch the stuff. Give him a soda, but alcohol tends
And
to be more of a real kind thing.
yeah. And so he grips the doorknob of the back, and he turns back to look at you and says, "Just wait right here." And again, he has this genial tone, but the way he looks at you, the way the smile just kind of, it's a little too tight. It's he is just really, I mean, you're not scared of clowns, but he's kind of unnerving.
Mm-hmm. There's a slight lilac as he stares at you, Laffy, and he kind of just slowly nods. Like, okay, yeah, you can make coffee, I guess. I don't suppose you have any tea.
Nope. And he opens the door and goes through. As he shuts it behind him, he shuts it a bit forcefully. And when this happens, this picture frame that you hadn't noticed until now, that had been sitting on the desk, clatters to the floor.
Mm-hmm. Sammy reaches over to pick it up.
And as you do, you take a look at it. Do you want to roll investigation?
Yeah, let me just. Okay, that was 19.
So.
Wait, actually, sorry, wrong
so
modifier. It was an 18.
Oh, well, either way, you're fine. So in the picture, it seems to be like a bright summer day.
Mm-hmm.
And you have two figures in there. One of them, you didn't think Bevin could be any smaller, but there seems to be a slightly younger Bevin who just looks really happy. And the figure next to them, it looks like, they're wearing almost the exact same clothes as in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
That looks to be Laffy. But he seems to have had a pie thrown in his face when the picture was taken.
Sammy shoves the picture into his hammer space, and then he's gonna run through the door that Laffy just left, because what
Okay.
the heck?
Yeah. Okay, so all right, do you so Wait, I'm trying to figure out how this works. Just a second. Because, that is the cool thing about DMing, is that way you sometimes just don't expect, and then you know what? I've got it. Uh, why don't you roll me a strength check?
Okay. That was... Okay. That was 7 plus 2. Okay, that is a 9.
Okay. So, that...
Well, when I say run through the door, I meant, like, to open the door and, like, go through it, but it's blocked. Sorry.
Whoops. Well, that's okay.
I forgot that it was shut for a moment.
But as you grab the doorknob to open the door, you feel yourself being pulled forward for a second as whoever's on the other side is pulling open the door at the same time. And he pulls it back open, and it's Laffy. And he has, he looks startled. He has a mug of coffee in his hands, and a second cup kind of precariously balanced on top of the first one. Hi.
Sorry.
Something?
Yeah. And he pulls out, he digs through his sleeve and pulls out the picture and shows it to Laffy, and he's just like, Bevin.
Yes, as you do this, he had let go of the door and had taken the second cup off. He was taking a sip of the first. And as you show him the photo, he does a spit take. Not in your face, but just to the side. I don't know what all those. Where'd you? And then he looks at the desk. Oh, gee, God.
You know them.
Well, he kind of scooches to the side of Sammy to try to get back to the other part of the store. Just let me sit down this coffee. He puts down both cups on the desk and turns back around to face you. He crosses his arms. Didn't your ma tell you not to touch other people's belongings?
You kind of slammed the door, so it kind of fell over. So, kind of wanted to make sure that the picture was okay, and then I saw that you'd know Bevin. Sammy's eyebrows are kind of narrowed. Like, he looks a little upset. Like he would be frowning if his mask didn't cover his mouth.
He looks a little sheepish. He's like, oh, yeah, oh. He holds out a hand. Yeah, you mind if I have to back?
Sammy's gonna give him the picture back, but he's staring very intently at you, Laffy, and he's just like...
Okay. Yeah, he takes the picture back. You want to do an insight roll?
Yes, I do. Okay, that is... Insight 16.
And, let me roll this one.
Oof.
Hold on. Okay. So, I decided to roll at a disadvantage, but you can tell for a split moment when he looks at the photo, there seems to be like this kind of nostalgic, kind of bittersweet look before he's kind of like, okay, yeah, photo, right. He he puts it back on the corner of the desk where he had it before. Um, he goes and sits down in his chair and motions to Sammy for them to also sit. All right. You wanted to talk. Let's talk.
What happened to the troop? Why aren't you with Bev? Like, why did everyone leave?
And he's like, he lets out this sigh, like, all right. So, is he seated?
Yeah, he's sitting down.
And it's kind of comical in this way because the seat that Laffy's sitting in is a little shorter, like it sits lower than the stool, and then Sammy is also taller than Laffy, so he kind of has to just he doesn't have to like look up, but it's kind of funny. The way I just thought it in my head.
Comical height difference, A+.
Well, yeah. He gives that sigh and then says, well, I don't think you know much about me, do you?
No.
Yeah.
We just went out for ice cream after, and they just told me about the trip. They didn't really say much other than they hadn't really they'd gotten separated from the troop. That's all they really told me.
Right. He reaches into his coat again, and he pulls out this locked box with a handle on the top, and he sets it down on the desk. Well, I run this place, but also, I do finances. I'm a business clown. And he he gestures to the box. I make sure that I take care of their finances. The troop, I mean. I'm not exactly part of it. I guess you could say I am. But I mean, it's kind of an on and off thing. I just make sure this stuff's okay, and I've been traveling with them for a while, but I mean they're just in the next. He takes a look at his watch. Where are they right now? I don't know, but I don't know. Well, what Bevin told you. Wait, was this recent? And he's like, wait a minute, hold on.
Let me roll history to see if Sammy that would be a 2. Sammy does not remember if it had been super recent or what exact time scale Bevin had mentioned, and neither does his player. So he just kind of tries to think about it, and then there's the visible poof of smoke of an overworked brain, and he's just like, I don't really remember. I'm sorry. I just know that they were with Bevin, and then they got into a town, and Bevin got separated. I don't even really remember what town they were in now that I think about it.
and Laffy just gives off a laugh. Oh, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. No, I meant, when did you guys go for ice cream?
Sammy blinks and he's just like, a few weeks ago?
Is they still in town?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Kind of rubs his chin thoughtfully. And he kind of starts mumbling, like,
I'm gonna roll perception to see if Sammy can. I fumbled that. That is 5 plus 4. That is a 9.
Well, you do hear little snippets of, no, not supposed to, and, and I don't know, and you don't hear quite much, but
not supposed to what?
and he turns back around from his musings. Well, and you can tell now that you're kind of just staring at him. He's kind of sweating a little.
Sammy's gonna roll. That was a weird roll. Okay, that was okay. Come on, dirty 20.
Something in the way that he is standing, just the nervousness that suddenly has kind of come over him. You have a feeling that he knows something about what happened to Bevin that you don't know. And it's maybe something not good.
Sammy's shading is like a little slightly tinted red as he leans forward, and he's taller than this clown, and he is staring down at him and just is like he's not gonna intimidate, but he kind of just stares at him and is just like, why don't you tell me what you're not telling me? Okay? And that was a 10 on his persuasion roll. Perfectly average persuasion.
Average persuasion. He is not fazed by you being taller. It's only by a few inches.
Mm-hmm.
But he does look up at you, obviously. And he looks you up and down and is like, see, he squints.
What happened?
And why do you need to know?
Because if the troop left him on purpose, then I'm not entirely sure that I want them to go back to people that don't care about them. So I would like to know what happened.
He blinks for a moment. And then he starts laughing again. You think you think they left him on purpose? And he has this incredulous look on his face. Kid, I hate to burst your bubble, but they've been looking all over for him all the time. You know. And as far as you can tell, he seems to be saying the truth.
Okay, that is 11 plus 1, so that's 12. Because like, Sammy doesn't really trust like that. So he's a little doubtful, because like whatever this tune isn't telling him, he would like to get to the bottom of this to make sure that Bevin is going to be okay.
And hold on a second. What was I gonna do? That was what I was gonna do. Okay, that should be good. And he takes another look at you, and the smile that he had from laughing kind of starts fading out. And he's like, huh, well, he breathes deeply and is like, you really care about this kid, huh? And he actually takes the photo, picks the photo back up from the desk and takes another look at it. Yeah, he ain't a bad kid.
He's a really good kid. I want to make sure that they're gonna be okay. Like, just.
So, Laffy sits back down and just continues to look at the photo, and then looks at Sammy. You want the truth?
Yeah, I want to know what happened.
Nah, all right. He sits forward. All right. The troop. The troop didn't leave him. No. He looks off to the side and then looks back at you. And he looks you in the eye and says, I did it. In the crowded streets, I pushed him out of the way.
Pushed him out of the way of what?
Of, the rest of us. I did the separating, you could say.
Why the hell would you do that?
Because you don't know what the troop is like, huh? It's no place for a kid.
But
especially one like him.
Like him? What the hell are you talking about? You shoved a kid into a crowded street and left them to fend for themselves? And Sammy's shading is darkening to a deeper red as he stares at Laffy, just utterly appalled that this adult would do this to a child.
Now, hold your horses. And he lifts his hands up just a little bit. All right, listen. You might think that was a bad idea, but you don't see it from my perspective. He taps his chest just a little. It ain't right. A good kid like that shouldn't be in that kind of company. It's rough. And it's pretty independent. Really wouldn't be much of an issue. At least not for them. And you can see him, he's still kind of looking at the photo, not looking at you.
What made the troop so bad that you would want to separate them from the only family that they had?
Yeah. He kind of just slumps a little bit. I mean, was it the wisest decision? No, of course not. But that... He takes another look at Sammy. Wouldn't it be better to just not have a family as opposed to having a really shitty one?
But they were so happy when they were talking about the troop, they were a little sad, but I just, why, I don't understand. How can being alone be, why were they shitty? Why? I don't understand. I mean, a family can do things that you necessarily disagree with, but you can still love them. And as he speaks, he kind of rubs at his wrist for a brief moment and then just kind of lets his hand flop to his, just kind of rest in his lap. And he's just the red's kind of gone from his shading again. It's just gray. He doesn't understand what Laffy's trying to get at.
Yeah. He takes another look at the picture before he looks back at Sammy. Well, it's... You might not believe me, but it's better this way.
How? How is it better? Explain it to me. Why is it better? He's kind of waffling now, like, Just tell me. I don't understand what you're. Why? Why? Why send them out into the world when they're so young? Like, I don't.
We found him out in the world like that. And he stands back up.
Yeah, but why would you exile a kid? I don't get it.
It's just a little bit frustrated, a bit kind of worked up. It's just better that way. All right, he wouldn't. He doesn't. God, and I just thought it'd be better
for you or for him, for them.
And he gets kind of. Nah, I ain't even gonna ask. He takes a look at you, and he kind of looks a little like, what? Like, excuse me? I did it for the kid. I didn't do it for them. He was gonna be a lot happier without all of us.
Why would he be happy? Why would... I don't understand. You keep saying it would be better, but I don't see it. I don't... Bevin is sad. They miss the troop. They're looking for them, like... Isn't it better if they do have a family?
Well, I'd hate to say it, but based on that, sounds like the kid's delusional.
Why? What? You didn't answer me. Why was the troop so bad for Bevin?
It's really
Try me.
He says,
Just-
sorry, try me. Listen, and he breaks eye contact with you, and he looks back at the plant, and you see this come over his face. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What?
And he walks around you and walks towards the plant.
What?
Oh God! What?
I'm currently doing a game.
And he using plant. But-
Sorry, it kind
What?
of. My dad came in. I didn't catch that bit. What about the plant?
You brought that in here? And he points at the plant.
I don't know. What's wrong with the plant? Now Sammy's like, his shading is now a little purple because he's just like, oh geez, what did I do? This is a high tense situation and there's now...
And Laffy's like, that, and he points at, that's been, and he smacks himself in the head. Shirley, you can't be serious.
What?
You can't, that thing, and he points, it's been following me. You bring it here? I didn't notice it before. And he looks kind of mad, but you can also tell he's kind of scared.
Sammy looks at it and he's just like, following you? It's just a plant?
Oh, don't play dumb. And he gets closer to you. That you don't. Ugh. You know what? That's it. And he goes back over to the plant. You see him hesitate for a minute, but then he grabs it by the pot and he brings it over to you and shoves it into your arms. Take this, just go. Get out of here. I don't know why you were in my business anyway.
Just Sammy stares at. He's so frustrated. I don't know what your issue is with this plant or with. I can like.
Listen.
I just want to make sure Bevin is okay, and you're stonewalling me.
What?
Stonewalling. He's the.
Oh. I got confused for a second. I was just like, wait, what? Good phrase, but I was like, what? Well, he you can tell he looks tired, but he also is still kind of mad. He goes back over to the door quickly, and he unlocks it and opens it up. All right, get. I'm done playing these games.
I'm not playing any games. I just.
And you know what? And he walks back over. He takes the photo. If you're so concerned with his happiness, he shoves it also onto top of the plant. And take it too. You can tell he kind of looks a little hurt. Now get out of here.
Sammy just kind of. His shading is just this weird mottled mix of red and gray and a little bit of blue? I think he just doesn't really understand what the hell is going on, because like he just, it's like, oh, fine, okay. I don't understand why you shoved him out of their family. But if you don't want to tell me, then fine. Then I'll leave, and I don't. Fine. I'll just go. And he stands up and makes sure that the picture is okay, and he starts heading towards the door, and he's just like, but he kind of just pauses and looks back at Laffy, and he's just, were they really that bad for them? And despite his height, he seems small as he asks Laffy this.
And Laffy's no longer looking at him, but kind of at the floor. He kind of looks. He has this defeated look about him, and he says, "They're not his family. They're not. And if I gotta be a bad guy, help him out, and you can call me the worst prick in Inkwell." He walks around the desk, and he goes through the back door and shuts it.
And Sammy he kind of just walks out of the front door and then just kind of sits down on just a really convenient bench, because what the heck just happened?
And as you do, you're still holding the plant, right?
Yep.
Okay, so as you do, I'm assuming you set the plant down kind of next to you or something?
Yeah.
You did it without looking, but you hear a clatter.
Sammy looks at it.
And surprisingly, right next to the plant is that a tape recorder?
What? Sammy's shading is incredibly gray.
Do you mind making another perception check?
Yeah, let's see how. Okay, that is 18 plus 4, so that is a dirty 22.
So you notice there is a second card that is in the soil of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
You also notice as you go to take the card out that the tape recorder is still running.
Uh-huh.
And you take the card out and kind of brush a little of the soil off. It says, "Stop it."
Stop what? Well, like Sammy, like that's what Sammy says. Like he reads it and it's like, "Stop it." What?
And he looks from the note to the plant, and the tape recorder is still running.
Okay. Sammy just he has basically a cloud of question marks above his head, and he reaches over and stops the tape recorder.
And, and and as you do so, you notice there is text on the other side of the note card.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, it has it in fine print. Shirley A. Plant, private investigator.
Sammy stares down at the plant and he's just like, excuse me, are you alive? Well, I mean, sentient alive, not just plant alive. His shading is very gray. This isn't what he was expecting at all.
And as you look suspiciously at this plant, you sorry. As you look at the plant, you just kind of see it rustle a little. You can't tell if it's the wind because it's started to pick up a little.
Mm-hmm.
But you have kind of this feeling that maybe you're not sure because it sure as heck isn't giving you a response.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Sammy stares at this plant and he just, for the hell of it, we're just gonna roll insight. Okay, that is a 9.
Hold on. Yes. As far as you can tell, this is a plant.
Sammy. Sammy just stares.
But the wind picks up suddenly, just a bit, and as you kind of shield yourself from it, a couple of the balloons from the store have floated away, and you take a look up.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can read the sign of the store, which reads Laffy's Gaffs. It's just a novelty store. Mm-hmm. That's not what it says on the bottom, but that would be the type of stuff it would say. But, and as you look back down, there's a third note card in the potted plant.
Sammy picks up the note card and looks it over.
And what it says on the front, it reads, "Let's meet in my office."
Sammy turns the card over.
And the backside reads, "Then you'll know."
Sammy kind of just...
And you flip it back to the front, and it has another address. Somewhere else.
Sammy's just gonna roll a survival check to see if he doesn't get lost, trying to follow this. That is a 16.
And it seems to be not on the same street, but maybe about a block or two, like maybe down. Like it's actually relatively close. Mm-hmm. And you just take another look at the plant, and as you do, you notice the tape recorder is gone.
Sammy just kind of holds up the potted plant and just kind of hugs it to his chest. He's a little discomforted by this.
Wait, so he's just holding the plant?
Well, I mean, he's holding the potted part of it, you know?
And
Like, it just kind of, like, you know how, like, you'll just, like, sometimes carry a pot, but, like, you'll just kind of wrap your arms around it? That's basically what he's doing. He's just kind of like, this is
I love
weird.
that kind of thing.
This is weird. But he's gonna navigate the streets to try and find the office with that 16.
And as you make your way back down the street, you're holding on to this plant. The sun is shining nicely, and you hear a voice in your head say, "Thank you." And that is where we're going to leave off for this FPS.
Wick! No, we can't end it there! No! What the heck?
Yes, you'll have to tune into a different thing. This was all a ploy to... So, you're just gonna have to tune in whenever we set up another thing to hear the second part of well, I wouldn't call it the second part of this. It'll have a different title.
A continuation of this one. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Thank you again for having with us. And I will see you. Well, we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.